G'day folks, Wren here, and I am back for June's TBRGate. So, hi, it's been a while. I took a break from booktube for like 2.5, 3 months, something like that. And I did it because I was really struggling with my mental health and also my physical health. And I was just constantly stressed. And the one thing that I could control was booktube. So I decided to take a break because I put so much pressure on myself in regards to booktube that like is not sustainable. Let's put it that way. So took the break. It was really good for me to just not do nothing. I've been very busy, but to not have this as an added pressure. Like no one else is putting this pressure on me. It is purely myself and the expectations I had on myself. Basically, I really love filming these videos and connecting with people online. I've met some amazing people through booktube, as well as my girlfriend, so that's always handy. But the one thing that I really hate is editing with a burning passion. I hate editing. So I needed to find a way to make this a little bit easier on myself because I want to do this. I just need to find a better way of doing it. So what I've kind of decided as of now is hopefully for the rest of the year, I'm just going to go back to doing 1 video a week instead of 2. Even though I have a lot of like ideas for content, the reality is I can't always film that content or just give it the attention I wanted to give it, if you know what I mean. Like I would have these really big vlog ideas of, you know, how I wanted to do something, when I wanted to do it, all the little intricate things, and then it would come to the time where I would have to do it and I couldn't do it, either because of my mental health, my physical health, or my dad. I'm my dad's carer, so a lot of things are always happening with him. My nieces as well, I have a very prominent role in their life. Things kept happening. And then I started spiraling because, oh no, I'm not doing the best job and blah, blah, blah. Not good. So to try and fix all that, we're going for 1 video a week. Trying to get back into the swing of filming things has been hilarious. There have been many attempts at this video and where I just stand there going, what do I say to a camera? I did do a whole like kind of little rebrand thing, which I'd wanted to do like for several months anyways, but I did that now, so that was cool. I had put off that rebranding for like 6 months. It took me less than a day. So yeah, the only big change is rebrandy thing, 1 video a week. I don't know if I'll be doing sprints. I would like to. I did really enjoy sprints. My internet hasn't been the best since moving into this house, so we'll see how those go. Also, for TBRGate change, the 1 video I hated filming every month. Well, I didn't hate filming it. I hated editing it. It was TBRGate. It took so long to edit. Every single time, like days and days of editing went into TBRgates. And I would put them off as long as I could and then freak out of those like last 2 days before it had to be up. Freaking out because it just took so long. And that was probably the worst part of this whole like spiraling thing. So, changes to TBRGate, nothing really that interesting. I'm just going to be editing it differently. So before I was doing roll, me talking about it, roll, me talking about it. Now I'm just going to do all the rolls, all of me talking about it. If you know what I mean. That way there's a lot less editing because, fine intricate details went into that and having to line everything up and, ooh, it was the worst. It was the worst. So, that's kind of the only change there. Doing all the things, doing this thing. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it's easier to edit. Now that I've waffled on, TBRGate. So usually with TBRGate, I tell you about what I read the month before and if I completed it, and then we move on from there. I have been playing TBRGate even though I haven't been filming, so I was a bit confused about, do I go from when you last saw or do I go from what I last did? I think I kind of ended up doing like a little bit of a mix because I got confused about what I last did and what you last saw. So it is what it is. So now on to June. In June there is a few readathons happening. First up is the Adventurerathon mini round, which is awesome. Very much looking forward to this. Adventurerathon is hosted by my lovely girlfriend, Kirsty from KBeth Bookish. So I will leave all of the details of that down below. Jona and I are also a co-host, Jona from Words from the Void. So I will leave his channel down below as well. Go check out the announcement video. It is just a one prompt round just to, you know, keep you in the swing of things. But yeah, it'll be a very simple round in June. One prompt, should be doable. Then the other readathon that I will be participating in June is of course one of my favourite readathons of all time, which is the QueerLit Readathon, hosted by Kathy from Kathy Trithart and Rogan. QueerLit Readathon is a readathon with a nice bingo, and it happens a few times a year. In June it is going for a full month, which is great because I very rarely get to read all the books in the time frames given, so a month is great for me. And it's all about reading queer books. I might go through my TBR at the end of this. We'll see how my energy level is at the end of this. And then of course, TBRGate. So let's go with the rolls. Alright, so this is how the board was left last time, kind of. Starting here, got a few hive ships and some Science Saves the Date tokens. So let's go for June's TBRGate with roll number 1. 14. And we landed on a chevron. Okay. Right, let's see who we got. Oh, Dr. Peter Groden. Cool. So a BIPOC or set in the UK book. I can probably do that. Alright, roll number 2. 15. Hamlinto. So Hamlinto is Vengeance. So that is a horror book. Okay, not what I was in the mood for, but okay. Right, roll number 3. Ooh, a 2. Robandus. Right, Robandus is Duet, which is a queer book. Perfect for June. Next roll. Oh, went off the board, but it was another 2. So Arami. So Arami is Doppelganger. So that is a book or author or series you've been sleeping on. Not sure about that one. Okay. Alright, next roll. I think it's a 9 because the dot's there. We'll go with 9. Ooh, we got Earth. Alright, so Earth is Rising, so that is to start a series. Again, not really what I wanted for this month, but okay. Alright, so I need 2 more glyphs. Let's see if I can get them. A 2 again. 1, 2. So Danami. Alright, so Danami is The Intruder, so a 5-star prediction. Very nice. Alright, next roll. Oh, again, off the board, but that's a 20. Great. just what I wanted. Not only is that on a chevron, that's also a hive ship. So I will be picking 2 character cards to get rid of that hive ship. Alright, first one is... oh, Taylor! So that is most anticipated or an Indigenous author. Very nice. Alright, the next character card is Richard Woolsey. So a non-fiction or gifted. Interesting, okay. Alright, let's try for a glyph, shall we? I think that's a 6. Alright, Gilton. Alright, Gilton is the Defiant one. So that's a standalone. Nice. Alright, what will hopefully be the last roll to complete this address. 5. It's not the last one because that's Robandus and we've already got that. So, another roll. 6 again. So not a glyph, but a chevron. So that is another character card. Okay. Oh, Major Evan Lorne. So an illustrated cover or an author I've already read from once. Alright, what will now hopefully be the last roll. 19. Oh, so close. Alright, that is Rohi. So, Rohi is Reunion. So, a friend pick. Ooh. Okay, interesting. Alright, I think I know who I want this friend pick to be. So, of course, the first prompt I landed on was a chevron, which means a character card. And the character card I got for this was Dr. Peter Groden, who I love dearly. So the prompts for Groden were either BIPOC or set in the UK. So for this I went with BIPOC. And for this I'm going to read Fall Into You by Georgina Kirsten. But this is a really short book and I just, for some reason, every time I look at the cover, I desperately want to read it. But this is, yeah, a short book. It's a small town kind of romance. So it's described as an FF Black BBW sapphic romance featuring plus-size main characters, a small town, autumn themes, butchers and studs, motorcycle rides, coffee shops, childhood friends to lovers romance, and tons of found family feels. Those are some great buzzwords and I love a lot of them. Sounds like a good time, and just that cover. So then the first glyph that I landed on was Hamlinto, with the episode for that being Vengeance and the prompt for that being Horror. So I am finally going to read a book I have been saying I've been wanting to read ever since it came out. And I keep not reading it. So I'm finally going to, and that is Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. This, oh, it's so highly anticipated from me. I think I've kept putting it off because of some reviews I've seen, but this is a horror-esque literary novel, is what some people have called it. It is about this woman who is some kind of scientific explorer. But yeah, she is on a mission underwater, and when she comes back to her wife notices that something is wrong. Like, she did not come back the same woman, and it's kind of trying to figure out what she came back with, in a way. I know, alright? I know I'm not describing this well. I never describe books well. And that's not going to change anytime soon. I know a few buzzwords and they get me hyped, and that's all I want to know. So, yep. So the next glyph I landed on was Robandus, and the episode for this is Duet, with the prompt being queer. This could have been anything. Anything at all. But I decided to go with a book that I've actually been putting off for years. and that is I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. Now, I love Alice Oseman. I've read every other thing that they have produced. Now, the reason I keep putting this one off is because it's featuring music and bands and stuff like that. I really don't like reading about bands or music, and I don't know why. So I keep putting this one off, but I want to read it because Alice Oseman. Now, I don't know why this is queer. For some reason in my mind, I keep thinking that there's a trans character. I don't know if that's correct, but it's queer in some way. And, you know, knowing Alice Oseman, there will be a lot of mental health rep in this as well. I think it's a lot about anxiety. I don't know. I'm expecting like tears as well because Alice Oseman. So the next glyph that I landed on was Irami, with the episode for that being Doppelganger, and the prompt kind of being a book or author or series that you've been sleeping on. I read a few things from this author, but not this one. And like, I kind of didn't have much interest in this one, but I kind of did because of the author. But it sounds so different from their other stuff that I didn't think I was intrigued. So we're just going to go with that, okay? But that is You've Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akweke Emezi. I love Akweke Emezi's work. Freshwater? Phenomenal. Bitter and Pet? Phenomenal. Akweke Emezi, amazing author. But this one, I just didn't know because it's a romance, right? And that just like didn't appeal to me with what I've gotten from Akweke Emezi in the past, which is this more speculative-esque, creepy kind of factor. And a romance doesn't sound like this. I've heard this is a hard-hitting kind of romance, so that could be interesting. I don't know, and I can't even tell you anything on the back because that's just the quote. Emezi is a dream of a writer. My heart soared and shook and panted. That's a good quote, actually. Oh, she's falling for the one man she can't have. Okay. Yeah, it really doesn't sound like my kind of thing, but it's Akweke Emezi, so I'm gonna give it a go. Once again, I know, I suck at telling you what books are about. Then the next glyph that I landed on was Earth, and the episode for this is Rising, and the prompt for that is the start of a series. I just kind of went with what I could. This is a new purchase for me, and I really need to start reading the books that like I purchase, like in general, but also like the ones I've newly purchased. Anyways, I chose The Land of Roar by Jenny McLaughlin. This is a middle grade like fantasy book. I've heard a lot of great things about this, and like, it's dragons. Who wouldn't want to read a book about dragons? I mean, Kirsty, but still, I really like dragon books, and this was at least a dragon book where the dragons weren't the enemies, which is good for me. But it sounds really fun. It sounds like these, was it twins or just siblings? I don't know. Why is that on the back? Weird. Twins, yeah. So there are these two twins, and they were like told a story when they were younger, or they created this story when they were younger. They kind of forgot about it, and now they're remembering, but it might actually be a real place. Look at that, I almost subscribed a book. Way to go, me. So the next glyph I landed on was Denami, with the episode for that being The Intruder and the prompt being a 5-star prediction. Now, this was a little bit difficult for me because I have actually planned to do a 5-star prediction video, but I was like, well, I don't want to pick a book from that list before I put out that video, because then I'll know the answer by the time that video comes out, you know? My brain does some logic things that only it knows. But luckily, I did recently purchase a book that fit very well for a 5-star prediction. And that is Cherry Magic, 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard by Yu Toyota. This is a BL manga, so queer male manga. And Gavin raves about this all the time. I had never heard of it until he started talking about it. And I was like, okay, I will read that because it does sound interesting. So basically, in this world, there are people who can do magic, but the only way that you can do magic is if you're a virgin for 30 years. So, you know, good on you. And then this guy, I guess, turns 30 and he can now read minds. And one of the minds that he ends up reading is from his co-worker who has like a major crush on him. And then things develop from there. It sounds absolutely adorable. And I just need some like feel-good things in my life. So I'm really, really hyped for this. I think it's going to be fun. I have really, really high hopes for this, and I really hope it's a 5-star. So then I landed on a chevron. Of course I did. And on that chevron was a hive ship, which means I had to choose 2 character cards. Like, I'm actually not mad about it because I kind of wanted to get those hive ships off of the board, so at least now I get the opportunity to do that. Let's hope I can actually do it though. So the 2 character cards that I got, the first one was Taylor and Morgan. Love her, what a queen. So the prompts for her were most anticipated or an Indigenous author. So for this I went with an Indigenous author, and I'm going to pick up Nira, Deep Time Traveler, The Broken Rainbow. I think The Broken Rainbow is actually the name of the book, and Nira, Deep Time Traveler might be the series name. Not sure. But this is by Tasma Walton and Samantha Campbell. This is a middle grade Indigenous book. I think it's about this girl who travels back in time to fix the dreaming time. So that does sound pretty cool. It really does. So yeah, an epic new adventure series drawing on the stories of the Boonwurrung people of coastal Melbourne. And I think... So Tasma Walton is a Boonwurrung woman, and Samantha Campbell is descended from the Daggerman people of the Catherine. So it does have... Whoa! That looks kind of creepy. I'm here for that. That's cool. Oh, cute. I don't know, I love like middle grade books where they have like drawings in them. It's just... it makes you feel good. But yeah, that's kind of all I know. Aww. Very cute. I think this also had a... yeah, it had a glossary in the back for some of the Indigenous words that have been used, which is very fun. I love that. This sounds like it's going to be fun, short and sweet, and, you know, pictures inside. And then the second character card that I picked was Richard Woolsey. I love Woolsey. So the prompts for Woolsey were non-fiction or gifted. Gonna be honest, I rarely pick the non-fiction prompts because non-fiction just takes me a long time to read, and I'm a slow reader anyways, so that just like doubles the time. So I went with gifted. So for this one, I'm going to read Snapdragon by Kat Leigh. But this was gifted to me by Kirsty from Cape With Bookish, so thank you, my love. This is a graphic novel that I've wanted to read for a really long time, because just like that cover, that looks like my kind of vibe. I don't actually know what it's about though. Snap's town has a witch, but there might actually be real magic connected to Snap's family. Okay, cool. I don't know, but it's, it looks mildly creepy, but like in the cute kind of creepy way. I also think it's queer in some way. I don't actually know how. I like the art, it's decent, and I just love some like magic, and especially if it's something to do with being in the woods. Love that. Again, you know, I'm not here for telling you good book synopses. So the next glyph I landed on was Gilton, with the episode for this being the Defiant one, and the prompt being a standalone. But for this, I chose Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane. This is a queer adult romance. So it's set over Christmas. A bookstore meet cute. Oh, cute. goat. I think it's female. A marriage of convenience? Hell yes. That's one of my favorite tropes. Oh, okay, so she has a meet cute with this woman. It goes great, but nothing comes of that. So then she enters into a marriage of convenience with her like boss, and then she goes home with him for like the holidays, but his sister was the girl that she hooked up with. Ooh. Now, over one very festive week, Ellie must choose between the safety of a fake relationship and the risk of something real. That sounds fun. I love like fake relationships and marriages of convenience, and I think this is a really interesting way to do it, where it's setting up for a love story outside of the fake relationship. Like, that's super interesting. I haven't read something like that before. So, really, really keen for this. Then I landed on another chevron, because of course I did. I always do. So, the character card I got for this was Major Evan Lorne. What a little cutie. Love him. So the prompts for Lorne were an illustrated cover or read from the author once before. And I mean like only once. So as in like I've only read one of their books before, or I've only read one of their series before. You know? Like how with Talia Hibbert, I've only read the Brown Sister series, but nothing else. You know, so I would still count that as a read from once, because I haven't explored outside that very tight-knit series, you know? So obviously I chose read from once because I'm explaining it so much. So yeah, I have chosen read from once before. With this author, I have only read one of their works before, and I did really enjoy it. So about time I read this one, and I've also been putting this one off for several years, because that's just what I do. So this book is Spell Hacker by M.K. England. I read The Disasters from this author and I really loved it. So I'm interested to see what this one is. I know it's queer. There's magic known as Maz. That could be an issue for me, because what the hell? So it was once a freely available natural resource until a spell plague killed thousands. Now Maz is tightly controlled and outrageously expensive, which is why Diz and her three best friends run a very lucrative, very illegal Maz siphoning operation. They kind of create a powerful new strain of Maz. And there's a conspiracy and saving the world. Just the usual. But I don't know. I could be intrigued. I think this is just going to be a fun time. The Disasters was a fun time. Like, you know, sometimes you just need... It sounds really bad to say, but like fun without substance. It's kind of what The Disasters was. I really enjoyed it. It was a time, but nothing much came from it. I mean it in the best possible way, you know? It was good. I had a good time. So, hopefully I will also have a fun time with this one. And then the very last glyph that I got for June's TBRGate was Rohi. And the episode for that is Reunion, with the prompt being a friend pick. Now, I figured because in June we are doing another round of Adventurerathon, I might as well choose one of my lovely co-hosts. Because my brain was like, well, it says friend pick, not girlfriend pick. So I couldn't choose Kirsty. That's how my brain works, okay? So I went with Jona, and I was like, Jona, pick a book. And I was like, do you want me to pick like a selected stack of books for you to choose from? Do you just want pictures of my shelves? How do you want to do this? And so he wanted pictures of my shelves, but I sent him a bunch of pictures. I crossed out all of the books that I had read, and he had a little perusal through there. The book that he ended up choosing for me was Black Wings Beating by Alex London. I don't know if it's going to be my thing. It gives off dystopian vibes, and me and dystopia don't really hang out much, you know? But again, I know it's queer in some way, but it sounds really cool because there's a lot of like bird stuff in this. Nothing in their world is more revered than the birds of prey. No one is more honoured than the falconers who call them to their fists. There's twins again. One of the twins wants to be a falconer, while the other twin wants to just play sport and be free. But there's a war coming. Together the twins must journey into the treacherous mountains to trap the ghost eagle, the greatest of the Ustari birds and a solitary killer. That sounds cool. A soaring saga about the memories that haunt us, the histories that hunt us, and the bonds of blood between us. That's a good little, like, tagline. I like that. Yeah, it could be super interesting. Oh, there's people on the cover too. I thought they were just birds. Anyways, he chose this. It should be an interesting time. I really want to like it. I'm just worried because of the whole war thing. I don't super love wars. Thank you, Jona, if I didn't already say that. Thank you very much. His channel is linked down below. Go check him out. It's a fun time. Oh, now I gotta pick up these books. Actually, I'm not going to. You wanna know why? Because my back is so sore. I've always had a bad back because of the way my hamstrings pull my hip out of alignment, so then my back is not good. And I'm in agony. Kind of all the time, but very much so right now. So squatting down to pick up all the books and then hold a big stack of books is not a safe option. So pretend I'm holding a big stack of books. I mean, my TBR for June was just winning, so that's super fun. Ooh, that hurt my back. Cool, I'm gonna go because I'm in pain. But, hi, I'm returning to booktube. Hopefully. Yeah, thank you for watching this, if you did. Thanks for sticking around while I was away, if you did. Much appreciated. But yeah, I hope to see you around on this little slice of the internet. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.